Hey everybody, I'm going to give just a moment for people to get on here because we have something really important to discuss about cosmetics. Like, it's super important because actually a few years ago I learned all about this and it changed my life. So grab your lipstick, grab your blush, grab your nail polish. And you know what? While you're at it, just grab your yogurt because you don't want to know what makes your yogurt pink. So this is my disclaimer. If you do not want to be scarred for life, just shut this off right now. And I'm telling you this because when I learned all of this crap about what's in our food, hey Ashley, when I learned what was in our food and what was in our cosmetics, I literally lost about 10 pounds. No freaking joke. Because it's not just in our cosmetics. It's, like I said, it's in our food. It's in Laffy Taffy. Raise your hand if you eat Laffy Taffy. I do not longer eat Laffy Taffy because of these braces. But it's been a while. How about Gobstoppers? Anybody like these? You're not going to eat them again. Okay. How about Sprinkles? Anybody like Sprinkles? I did. I don't anymore. Okay, how about anybody go to Kroger's with their husband and they insist you eat this? Seriously, is he really going to think I'm going to eat this crap? Yeah. Okay, there's two things in this ball of junk that you don't want. And I'm not talking about carbs and calories. I'm talking about what's on these Sprinkles. It's really gross. Oh, the lip color I'm wearing today is Fire and Ice. Do you like it? No bugs in this. Okay, let's get down to business. So I have notes because I don't want to give you guys any incorrect, false information. So I hope that you gathered your lipstick or your blush or whatever before you got here. If not, grab a pen and a paper and come right back here to me because you're going to need to write down a couple of letters and numbers so that way you can go into your makeup and do a little investigative work. So I did this when I found out a few things about what was in my food, and then I found out these things might have been in my cosmetics. So that was the year I lost about 10 pounds. And I made some fairly large cosmetic switches. Okay, so let me just quit letting you guys hang on and try to figure out what this whole thing's about. Has anybody ever heard of Carmine? Just comment or something if you have ever heard of Carmine. I know there's a slight delay. Okay, so has anybody ever heard of cochineal extract? Or it might even be pronounced cochineal. I've always called it cochineal, but when doing more research, someone else called it cochineal extract. Okay, I'm going to spell it for you because I know you guys are going to Google it right after this video. So, Carmine is spelled C-A-R-M-I-N-E. C-A-R-M-I-N-E. Cochineal, or cochineal, however you say it, is spelled C-O-C-H-I-N-E-A-L. So what is it? Are you ready for this? Okay. What it is the extract of a ground up, dried out beetle. Yeah, that's what it is. And it's in things like Laffy Taffy to make it red or pink or even purple sometimes. It's in things like these Gobstoppers. And up until about 2009, it was in Skittles. But we had enough pissed off customers that liked Skittles that said, I want that shit out of my, excuse me, I really like Skittles, but I want it out of my Skittles. So they got rid of it out of Skittles. So it's no longer in Skittles. So you guys are allowed to eat that. There are certain things that it's still in This is one of my favorite dyes that I use for when I do my cake making. Oh, thank God, it's not in here. It has artificial dye, which isn't any better really, but it's not in that. But you can actually literally like go online to Amazon or wherever you want to buy things and just type in cochineal extract or natural red dye, and you will actually see like jars like this big or this big, like the size of an extra large Jiffy jar, no joke. And it will say cochineal, what it will say, cochineal natural dye. So the word natural, everybody thinks is great, right? Like if we look at a product and they say, oh, it's all natural. Great, I want it. No, I don't. In fact, I would prefer, personally, for me to have something artificial than natural sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to go with my notes here because this is what you guys want to write down. You have your pen, you have your paper. Somebody give me some comments so that way at least I know that you're hearing me and seeing me. Shoot me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, something. So some other terms. So if you look at the back of your cosmetics, now I'm going to pick on one company in particular because, okay, I really shouldn't. I should probably cover it up. But you guys know who makes this product. So this is Outlast. This is supposed to be a 24-hour long-lasting lip color. So your 24-hour long-lasting lip color from this company that I got from Myers, because I was going to do a, you know, one half of my lip with this color, another half of my lip with my LipSense color. I did that before I read the ingredients because I just had a brain fart moment. But if you look at the actual ingredients on the outside of the box, and I'm telling you, you want to get past like the Spanish, whatever else is on there, and really get down to the very bottom. And I know you guys cannot see this, but right here it says Carmine. So plain as day, Carmine. And Carmine, from everything that I've investigated, it can be extracted from the beetle in a couple of different ways. So it's either number one, the bugs are put into a large vat, basically, and they're boiled down. And then it's like sifted through a strainer, and what's left over is then dried, and then it's put into things like, you know, your Laffy Taffy or your long-lasting lip color. Not Synergens, by the way. It's also put into nail polish. So I am like not even wanting to look at my nail polish because I had just not even thought about that until recently when I wanted to do this video. So if my nail polish has Carmine in it, I'm going to flip. I kind of don't want to check. Okay. Other names for Carmine would be Crimson Lake. So Crimson spelled C-R-I-M-S-O-N. And I know I've seen that on certain things. And then you could also look in the ingredient list. It will say Natural Red 4. So not to be confused with 40 because that's totally different. 40 is like an artificial dye, which, you know, it's your own personal preference if you think that's better or worse than eating bugs or putting it on your lips. So Natural Red 4. Or it could be listed as C.I.75470. So I'll repeat that. So for those of you that just joined, I'm just going through the list of what these potential bugs in your cosmetics might be listed as on your label, because it's in a lot of things. It's in this long-lasting lip color that I got from Myers one time. It's in Laffy Taffy, and a lot of things. So we got Crimson Lake, Natural Red 4, CI75470, or last but not least for the number list would be E120, and that happens to be on a lot of things. Also, it could be called carminic acid. It could be called just plain old cochineal or cochineal extract. So it actually takes like 70,000 full cochineal bugs to make 1 pound of what they call natural red dye. that can be either used in Yoplait yogurt, could be used in your nail polish, could be used in lipstick, could be used in blush. Anything that needs to be purple, red, or pink. If it has anything on, if it is actually one of these words that I just read to you on this list, it's a potential candidate to have these cochineal bugs in it. Okay, so what are some brands that have it in there that I have actually looked into myself? And what are some ones that do not? So I'll tell you what is safe. And hallelujah, Urban Decay, which is my favorite makeup line, in addition to Synergens. Urban Decay is 100% safe. So there are no cochineal bugs in their products. I can sleep at night. Kat Von D is also a company that does not have any bugs in theirs. There's also one called Fairy Girl. I've never heard of that, but in doing some investigative work, Fairy Girl is safe. Okay, what is not safe, and one favorite thing of mine that I used to use 6 months ago, because I'm on my 6th month, I think, 6th month of using Synergens. So up until then, I was using a lot of Burt's Bees. And I know that's a really popular product for you guys, especially the tinted ones, because that's what I know I used. But Burt's Bees, at least the tinted ones, I know have carmine in it. And like literally, if you look at the label, it will say carmine right on it. It's not coded in number and letter form. It just straight up says carmine. So at least they're not lying to you. Physicians Formula. So those really pretty circular palettes that you get that have all the speckles all over it. They even have one that's green in certain parts to correct redness. Physicians Formula definitely has carmine in it. That company called Tarte, I know that's really fun, and it's really popular with a lot of the young girls because they have some really bold colors. Their lipsticks do contain carmine. You know, ground up bugs. Okay, so if you want to talk food, we've already listed certain things. Like Skittles does not have it in it. You might find some old articles that say, oh yeah, Skittles has it. As of 2009, they took it out. But Tropicana, so we all like orange juice, right? Okay, OJ I think by itself is fine. But Tropicana has their blends. So they have their, I think it's like strawberry, banana, pineapple, something like that. But their strawberry for sure, I know that it has carmine. So it will be listed as something different probably. It'll probably say natural red #4 because really by law there is no obligation for a company to say, yes, we put bugs in it. Like they can literally blanket everything in one phrase: natural flavoring or natural dyes. So, or natural coloring, however you want to look at it. So, when you're looking at your ingredient list and you're really looking for all these words and all these phrases that I read off to you. So if you've just jumped on and you missed it, definitely go back and, write those down. Okay. So something to keep in mind. So if you really don't care that you're eating up ground up bugs, I do because I'm weird like that. But if you don't care, there's still a slight chance that you could be one of those few people that are really allergic. So when I did some of my investigating, there was this little baby boy who, he didn't look much more than 6 months old. And this little boy had swelling in his throat. He had hives all over his body and his face. And he was having this horrible reaction and they couldn't figure out what it was. So they had fed him, I think they said first yogurt. And so we know Yoplait yogurt has it in it still to this day. They haven't taken it out. But he had eaten a lot of yogurt, and so that's what his reaction came from. Also, there was a lasagna. They didn't say what brand it was, but there was lasagna that had the same thing in it that he had eaten. So they got rid of that. Okay, so then there is another story where there was a woman who had the same type of thing. Or no, it wasn't lasagna. The woman was the one that ate lasagna because a 6-month-old ain't going to eat lasagna. Okay. Getting my stories confused. So he had eaten a second thing. I don't remember what it was. The woman ate lasagna. So there was this woman that ate lasagna. She said that it had it in it. And every time she would eat something, she would have a reaction. So her throat would swell and she would have a hard time breathing. So she obviously had a reaction to something, found out it was carmine. So that was her story. So that's just two of that I know of for sure. So it's not toxic. It's not like harmful in any way unless you're allergic. So it's not like you're going to keel over and you're going to die because you had it on your lips and you licked your lips or you ate it or whatever. It's just one of those things that if you are vegan and you take it very strongly and seriously and you don't even like beeswax or honey or anything like that, just that's one of those things that you might want to know and investigate for yourself. So, okay, let me look at my notes and see if there's anything that I did not tell you. Oh, in case you want to know where these bugs live. So the cochineal bug lives in Mexico, in Central America, and I think I also read somewhere like parts of Southern Africa. So they take the cactuses, I guess that's plural. They take a cactus that has these bugs, which if you look at them, they're actually kind of like a whitish, grayish color, and they're only about like that big. And so they take this cactus, they scrape the bugs off the cactus, and then they somehow dry them. And then once they're dry, they grind them up, and then they either put it in liquid form, so that way it can be poured into crap like this, or they put it into like a powder form, so that way it can be put into crap like this. So, I mean, I couldn't find an ingredient list on this per se, but I'm just using this for an example because a ton of candy has it in there. M&Ms are totally safe, so, you know, we're good. We can all sleep at night. Skittles and M&Ms still on the top of my list. I think that was all that I want to tell you guys. So, okay, how many of you are going to go and dig through your cosmetics now and read your ingredient list? Give me a thumbs up or something so I can know that like you guys understood what I was telling you. Okay, so while I am waiting for you guys to dig through your ingredients on your cosmetics, let me just tell you something to reassure you. So in LipSense, all of our pigments are completely 100% vegan, cruelty-free, and natural. And yes, I was telling you, the word natural could mean a ground up bug. Yes, it could mean a ground up bug, because it does in some cases. But in the case of Synergence and LipSense, natural to us means plant-based. And so let me just kind of show you, and I don't really know if you'll be able to see this on here or not, but do you see these two colors? Okay, and I'm going to flip them around. Maybe you can see the difference between the two. Can anybody see a difference between these two colors? They're really, really close. Okay, so this one here is caramel apple. This one here is caramel apple. We all love us some caramel apple. But when I first signed up, this was the caramel apple I got. And then a few months later, this was the caramel apple I got. If I remember correctly, Ashley, I think you have this caramel apple, maybe. I'm trying to remember if you got caramel apple or not. But if you did, this is the one you got. You got the lighter one. So the caramel apple is either this shade, which is about a shade darker, or this shade, which is obviously a shade lighter. And has a slight amount of shimmer to it. So why would Synergence have two caramel apples that should be the same thing? One's darker and one's lighter. Okay, so what happened was there was a shortage in our natural plant-based pigments. So some of our tones ended up being slightly lighter or slightly darker based upon whether you got your caramel apple in December when the shortage started, or when you, if you got it when it was plentiful. I honestly cannot tell you and haven't been able to find yet, you know, what exact plant it is that Synergence uses to get their red dye from. But I'll tell you what, it probably takes an entire tree to make one fly girl because this is super pigmented, super, super pigmented. Same with our blush scents. This is the cherry blush scents. So any other company out there that says natural pigments, more than likely, if you look at the back of a blush, whether it's cream or it's powder, it will probably say something to the effect of E120 or Natural Red 4, but ours is not that. It's plant-based red pigments, and a crap ton of them. So of course, you know, at one point or another, there might be slight variances in our color because of that, just because it's plant-based. So rest assured, you can all sleep at night with your Lipsense or your Synergence blush and know that you don't have ground up bugs all over your face. So not to freak anybody out, because I have had many conversations with some of you guys in the salon talking about what is in food, and carmine, cochineal extract, crimson lake, red dye number 4, not 40, but number 4, carminic acid, cochineal extract, or CI75470. So if any of those are in your things, it's not going to kill you if you eat them, drink them, lick it off your lips. It's not. It's just gross. But you know what? On the other hand, it's like my husband says, at the end of the day, we all like honey. And what's honey? It's bee puke. That's what it is. So I still eat honey. It's all up to you. But if it really bothers you, just do what I do. I'm a total extremist. If I find something in my food that I don't like, just don't eat it. And you'll get skinny. And you'll have awesome lips because you'll start wearing this stuff. So that's all I have to really say. Does anybody have a question about their makeup? Because if you are using a certain brand of makeup and you want me to look into it as to whether it's vegan, or at least if it doesn't have carmine in it, I can look into it and find out for you. If you do, you can comment below, message me or whatever, because I'd be really interested to see what you guys are using, and you know, for my own knowledge, if anything you're using is something I used to use, and we can definitely investigate and see, you know, what kind of crap is in our crap that we put on our face. So, hey Tina. So a couple of you just joined and I gave you all the nasty information, and I don't want to make this video way too long because then nobody will watch it again. But in the meantime, get your makeup out, do your homework, a little bit of Googling, but also keep in mind not everything on Google is true. But everything that I just told you, I've looked into up and down, inside and out, and watched several videos on it from reputable sources, and it is in fact true, nasty, and gross. So I'm going to hop off of here, and you guys feel free to send me a message and let me know what you found out about your makeup. I'd be really curious to find out.